Hello, welcome to Infinity Park, RugbyTown, USA. I'm Mayor Mike Donovan on a beautiful February day, a little windy, but that never stopped anyone. I'm here to tell you about one of the most amazing events that even got better, the RugbyTown Sevens, coming up on August 25 through 27. I'm pleased to announce that we are going to see this year some of the best competition that has ever occurred in RugbyTown, USA. To make this announcement, I'm going to bring a dear friend on that everybody knows. His name is Waisale Serevi. He's considered the king of rugby. He's scored more points in rugby sevens than anybody in the world. He is going to make the announcement that is going to bring all eyes in the world onto RugbyTown, USA. RugbyTown, USA, Glendale, Colorado, the best pitch in North America. And Waisale Serevi, welcome to RugbyTown, USA.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mike Donovan. I thank God for the opportunity to be part of the RugbyTown Sevens Infinity Park, and it's an honor and privilege to be here again this year. And
now we've got a big announcement to make. It's an amazing situation, and it's down to you. You have managed to put the Viti Sevens team together. Would you tell everyone what Viti means?
yes, with everyone listening on this broadcast, the Viti Barbarians are coming to take part at the RugbyTown Sevens in August, and the boys are excited. A lot of these boys played in the Olympics in August last year, which Fiji won, and they are ready to come out and give back to rugby.
So in a very calm sense, you've just announced that the Fijian gold medal team, called the Viti Barbarians, is coming to Glendale for the RugbyTown Sevens. Is that true?
Yes, they're all coming before we went live. I just spoke to the captain, Osha Kolinisau, and they said they're all excited to be part of the Sevens this year, just to support the thing that I'm doing here in the States, trying to grow the game of rugby. I think the best way to do, going forward to the World Cup Sevens next year, is to bring the gold medals champions in Rio last year, Fiji, to come and play with the top rugby players in the USA, to try and get them gain experience and to look forward to the World Cup Sevens next year.
Now, that's correct. In San Francisco, we are going to have our first Rugby World Cup competition ever in North America.
Yes, it is the most important tournament in Sevens rugby, the Rugby World Cup, and it will be in the USA. So it is the best time for Fiji to come out and Fijian rugby players to come out and help the USA players get the taste of what is all about playing on that next level. That is the HSBC Rugby Sevens tournament and the World Cup next year.
What can we expect to see from the VT Sevens team, the Barbarians? Now that means there'll be a couple of players that you're going to recruit to make this a true Barbarian side. So there may be some Americans that have the opportunity to actually play with the gold medal Fijians.
Yes, that is the plan at the moment. I was wanting a couple of USA players. It's still in my mind now. I'm still talking to the boys that I want them to play with these boys. To try and experience how they train, how they prepare before the games, how they turn off straight after the games, and it will be a good experience for them to play with these boys in the RugbyTown Sevens in August. That is the plan at the moment, and that's what the boys have agreed to try and use one or two players from the USA rugby, the USA players that are playing in US.
This announcement is an amazing announcement. This has never happened before. This is an opportunity for the United States and everyone that didn't get a chance to go off to the Olympics to actually see the best in the world compete on our own home territory. It's an opportunity you don't want to miss, 25 through 27. Now, Bula, meaning chief, what do we expect to see from the Fijian squad?
I think, as we've already seen when the Fijians play, it's totally different kind of rugby. I think you'll see a lot of ball movements, a lot of steps, a lot of passes that you haven't seen that other teams have done. That's what we saw on TV. I think if one thing that I want to share this afternoon is I'm asking the rugby public in the USA, if you are not involved in any rugby at anywhere during August from the 25th to the 27th, make sure you have to come to Glendale. The players and the supporters, you should try and make it to Glendale to watch the Fiji Rugby Sevens players perform at home in the USA. And I think there's nothing else that we can do just to come out and support the players, especially the players too that will be playing for their clubs and will be participating on that date.
I can't tell you how much we thank you for doing this, and what an honor it is to be with the King of Rugby in RugbyTown, USA. You stay with us. I'm going to invite Dave Williams, who's the coach of the Glendale Raptors and coach of the national side, along with our director of rugby, Mr. Mark Bullock. Dave, it's an amazing opportunity to hear this announcement that the Fijian gold medal team is coming to play in the RugbyTown Sevens. Tell us what you feel about that.
Oh, I feel it's phenomenal. I mean, it's great exposure for our players in the US as well as the Glendale players. I think it's exposure for Glendale. And it needs to be played on this pitch. And the Fijians, obviously, they're the best sevens players in the world, as proved on the World Series numerous times and obviously at the Olympics. And for our players to see them up close and play against them is going to be a phenomenal experience. It's something that they need to experience. They need to have exposure to that top-level rugby for them to get better. They can't just watch it on TV. They have to experience it themselves, you know, and feel it and touch it and really get used to the pace and power and the skill levels that the best players in the world play at.
Now, you had a bit of training last night. What was it like for the boys out on the pitch to see the King of Rugby walking onto the training pitch?
Oh, they love it. I mean, Weiss is, you know, instant recognisable. You know, he comes on, adds a little bit of energy to the boys. They'll know who he is, and kind of puts a little bit of perk in their step, and makes my training a little bit easier. You know, when I'm putting them through the ringer a little bit, so it's all good.
Well, he told me he really liked the way you were running training. It was an old-fashioned get fit or get gone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, I fully believe that, especially in 15s, if you win the physicality, then you're going to be a better player, and we're going to win the games. So I have to bring that to my training sessions, and that's certainly what I did last night.
Now, you had one hit out so far. You went back and played Life West, I believe, who had 4 or 5 games under their belt, and they're scheduled for the California Cup final. Is that right?
Yes, they played in the final the week before, and unfortunately they lost against Onback. It was a close game, and then we went out there and we obviously performed very well. It was our first game of the season. We had quite a short pre-season, but the systems we put into the team beforehand, I thought they did really well. And obviously putting 50 points on the board for our first game is something I didn't think it was going to happen, but I'm certainly very happy that we did. And obviously conceding 19 points wasn't my ideal start. We put a few fixes in already, and hopefully we'll get going for the rest of the season.
And this weekend, we bring in another friendly, and that's BYU. Tell us a bit about them. Yeah,
so BYU, I mean, they're one of the best college teams in the country. They've got a lot of good players. They've played already. They played San Diego State a couple of weeks ago. They had a bye last weekend, or match postponed, and they're flying in this weekend. That'll be a great competition for our boys to see how they match up again. Can we compete week in, week out? And I think that's what our players need. They need that week in, week out competition, but they need the highest level they can. And I think we're playing Life West Cal Cup, finalists. BYU, they won or got to the finals last year in the Varsity Cup, and they're a storied program. They're very good. David Smythe runs a very good program out there. So I think we need to keep on going, keep progressing, and it's great that we have those teams coming here to Glendale, and then we obviously go out and play those other teams as well.
Well, best of luck, and good to have you here in Glendale. We'll turn here to Mark Bullock, the director of rugby, who started now some donkey years ago by recruiting his players in the newspaper rather than gobbling up a team from around town and shrinking the game. You chose to recruit, and I believe in the first year you went to the Division I final.
Well, actually we did. We chose to recruit from the local area, primarily high school graduates and college graduates, to our team, and we didn't want to access other clubs. We wanted to build from the ground up. And we competed that first year as a probationary team, and then our next year when we were able to compete at the Division I, we had a lot of success and ended up playing in the national championship.
Well, and losing by 1 point, I believe.
Yes, we lost to Life, not Life West, but we lost to Life University, and we lost by 1 point on a drop goal.
Now, the reason I bring this up It seems like a long time ago, but it's a short time from then to now. And you imagine recruiting a team in the newspaper, the Rocky and the Post at that particular time. And here we are with Waisale Serevi, and the RugbyTown Sevens, and the best sevens players in the world competing on the best pitch in North America in a few short years. Tell us how important it is for people to understand what it means to have the best sevens team in the world competing here in RugbyTown, USA.
Well, before I even get to that, I would say that the most critical thing is that you have to have a vision of where you want to go. And one of the key things with Glendale Rugby and the city of Glendale is that we had a vision of where we wanted to go. First, with the stadium that we've developed here and built, and then from the ground up, building up and developing our players to compete and play at the highest level possible. And we're constantly looking to get our players and our program to play at the highest level. Bring in the Serevi Sevens and the RugbyTown Sevens, as we've done in the last 5 years, and now bringing in the Fijian Barbarians, gives us that opportunity to test our players and to test players throughout the world at the very highest level. And that's truly what competition is about. It's about playing and testing yourself at the highest level. And that's what makes, I think, Glendale successful and makes us great. And in reality, that's what makes America great.
So not everyone gets a blue ribbon?
Not everybody gets a blue ribbon. We have to compete, and if you're the best, you get to compete at the highest level. And that's what it's all about.
Well, congratulations, and you've also coached the women. We have the Premier Division champions, are 2 out of 3 for the last 3 years as well, and they're going to be competing in the fall.
Yes, our WPL team took second last year in the finals. The year before, the last 2 years before, they were national champions, and this year they're reloading to play to that level again in the fall.
Now, something else that we want to announce when Waisale comes in, Waisale and the Serevi group, he has a team as well that Linda's going to talk about coming from some other places with more Fijians. We're going to be Fijian City coming up. Well, congratulations to your success, Coach, and this is the finest rugby program in the United States, thanks to you. I want to bring Linda Cassidy in to talk about the competition and the teams that are coming in. Linda, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Now, you are one of the founders of the RugbyTown Sevens, so it's an amazing thing to see your baby grow up.
I know. This is so exciting this year to actually have Fiji, the Olympic gold medal team, competing in the RugbyTown Sevens this year.
Now, among Fijians, we have some Fijians coming from Canterbury as well.
Yes, we have the Canterbury Fijians from New Zealand coming to compete this year, so we are going to be Fiji City, I think.
And a total of 20 teams, I believe. How many of those are international sides?
We currently have 10 international sides competing this year, including Canada, a couple teams from Canada, the UK, British Army, the Royal Air Force, the Ramblin' Jesters from the UK, Cayman Islands. The USA team will also be competing, so we've got great depth of competition. It's gone up every year.
And Dan Payne wanted me to announce that he is sending the aspiring Olympians from the United States to compete with the Fijians. So this promises to be an amazing competition. Now, what are the tickets? We also have a beer festival that's going to tell us a bit about the days that are coming up.
Thank you. So the tournament is August 25th through the 27th. The first day on Friday, we'll have a full day of competition on that day. Tickets are only going to be $10 per day, so what a great deal. Saturday, we have a full day of rugby plus the beer festival that is going to be adjacent to the stadium and come back and forth between the beer festival and rugby. It doesn't get any better than that.
And that's called Bruises and Brews, I believe?
That's right, Bruises and Brews on Saturday the 26th. And then Sunday wraps it all up with the championship games, all of the pool championships. So it's going to be a great 3 days of rugby.
Along with the 5 U.S. Armed Forces teams battling it out, and they come every year. Is that right?
They do. They started coming about 5 years ago, and so this is their 6th year as well. They actually battle for the Armed Forces Rugby Sevens Championship. That's the really important piece to them. And then the top 4 from their pool join into the competition with all the rest of the teams in the Sevens tournament.
Well, you've done a marvelous job. It has really grown. And people who've been out understand that this is a day you want to bring the kids out to this one. And I always say this, not to embarrass you, but these are manly men in short shorts, and the women come out. I don't think they even care about the rugby when they see the fitness level of these athletes is incredible, and they're gentlemen.
That's absolutely right. And you can talk to the players. This is an incredible group of teams that are coming out this year. So ladies, come out, enjoy the view. It's a fabulous time, and enjoy rugby.
Are some of your favorites coming back?
Yeah, the Ramblin' Jesters are great. The British Army is great. The Royal Air Force is always great. Canada, we've enjoyed those teams. So we're really excited this year about all the teams coming in.
Well, you've done a marvelous job. Thank you so much for your effort, and congratulations on watching your baby grow up.
Thank you very much.
I'm Mayor Mike Donovan from RugbyTown USA. You've got to come out to the RugbyTown Sevens. It is an amazing day, 2 days of athletics and camaraderie with your rugby family. Don't miss it. August 25 through 27, RugbyTown USA. Bula Bula.